Working with people and listening to their desires, and this passion comes out through this process of interviews where we want to give them the best they can possibly have. And through that process, there's a lot of conversation and people are sharing, and I ask questions to find out what's really important and what have you always wanted, and what are we doing, with your house and your new goals, and what opportunities and things that they haven't thought of. So I have a very large interview process, a document they fill out, details, and we get into it very deep. And that part of the process is very fulfilling because you're able to reach in on a way and listen in a way that most people don't really do with them. So they've got this relationship starting with you, and that's a very fulfilling thing. So it feels really good. And as the process builds and as the little pieces keep coming in, they're more and more excited. And each time they see something new, it gets better and better. So I'll take artwork, for example, as we get to that stage, and I'll photograph it and I can put it in the views, the little rooms. And I'll oftentimes select things I think work with the space, and that's usually where I start. And then we have clients that already have art collections. So then we're kind of curating that into spaces. We have to measure them and make all this and organize people and curate it into a special place and design the house to accommodate these large pieces. And that's very fun. You're just relating with their personality and making them happy. I mean, they're just enjoying the process. One of the things I do like about the process at the celebration is they have a broad range of excellent artists. And so we see everything from very high-end contemporary to very high-end Western and sculpture. So when we walk our clients through there for the first time, we're trying to read what they attract to, and immediately then we can go to the artists, and in some cases we're commissioning. So there's a vision that I'm creating by listening to you, and what that vision starts to build is your story. And then you have your desires for the art and the pieces that are going in that space. And when they connect with it, it's very powerful. And the artists feel it. So it's really a fulfilling process. It's joyful because there's so many people involved and everybody's happy. I was trained to design in a holistic way. So we don't look at the building as an entity in of itself. I design the landscape, I design the furniture, I design the art. I work with artists and we build a lot of the components of the building that may be fabricated pieces. A fireplace isn't just a place that has fire in it. Oftentimes I'm doing the art that's inside the fireplace that's fabricated out of steel and in some cases other materials. And then is echoed throughout the house. So we have that holistic process, and we do it through fabrics and materials and tiles and artwork and this special lighting that makes that exquisite. And it goes inside and out. We again love sculpture and sculpture gardens and arrival experience and all of that. So landscaping becomes a big part of it. There's a large element of magic in this. So we're designing a space based on oftentimes a description from a person, and I will reflect that description back in images, drawings, photographs, other buildings I've done or other people have done, other artwork that's been done, and we build this basic story. And as time passes, and as it keeps growing and it gets more defined, we'll get to a place where I know art is going to make them happy in this place. And I've designed a space exactly for a piece. And we've got the lighting set up in our floor plans and our drawings. And we've got elevations that show where it's going to go. And I have drawings. And we will find the piece, or we will have the piece made, or an artist commissioned to make it. So some of that, it's intuition in the sense that I kind of know the scale of a space, and then as we get further into it, and then I've been doing this for decades, I can sense how the space will work all around, all the various components of it. And the magic is when you get the right painting or the right sculpture in the right space with the right color. So we're always looking for that. Color, texture, geometry, all of these components for an artist are their tools of the trade. And then I can feed off of that and see how they relate. Our palette, we're trying to be natural. We're trying to have the desert expression, at least in this part of the country. And, when I'm doing work on the East Coast, very different. You got this very green, and same in Seattle. Very different art, very different kind of mood and feeling. But Arizona has a certain, especially where I work here, this desert, open and fresh and clean and broad. And there's this really kind of playful color that pops in. And you'll see that in the art. And it may not representatively be desert scenes. I mean, one of the artists we bought does a lot of barns and farm scenes out of the Midwest, but his color palette is definitely desert color. And it really hits, and it matches our theme, and it fits, and it reinforces how the client feels about their house and their home. And the lighting, of course, helps too, because then it pops. We end up working with my background and a framer background, and we can reframe pieces to get to the right scale. So that's an existing piece. That's true for pieces we buy. We've got an Elizabeth Butler piece that has to be a certain size. Now, the client fell in love with a 12-foot by 8-foot painting, and the color palette, everything about it is dead on with everything that we had selected. So it's going to be a seamless amplifier, and it's going to be the star of the show. So we've created this beautiful backdrop. Elizabeth has come in, and now it's about the scale. She's doing a commissioned piece. It's perfect for the space. And she's showing us the color palette and previewing it to the client. And now we get the excellence from that. So, part of the selection is finding the client's heartstring that really touches them. And then if the artist can pay attention to that, then anything's possible. We have an art plan which shows all the locations of the art and the size, everything on our plans. And we identify where things are going, and we keep track of it. And we're looking at the plan and thinking, well, where are we gonna fit that? So there's some of that going on too, because you have a variety of pieces, and some are objects, that you're going to be fitting into cabinets and shelves and things like that. So, it's part of the process of filling in all the empty spaces in just the right way that they all balance together quite well. And so there's a little bit of magic to that too, how you're selecting. And we are immediately thinking about it. In fact, we put it together an art wall plan, and I have all the wall sizes, so I know where that's going to fit and how the scale is going to be. And if it's not a single piece, it could be 4 or 3. So you can fill in spaces with a lot of variety of geometry or sculptural pieces. My goal, and it's the same with furniture, Some of the pieces I'm designing and we're having made, but some of the pieces are found, and you don't always find it on your first month of search. So I always share with the client, it's not as important that we have the whole house done as it's done right. And that may take a little more time. So how that works is taking the architecture, the colors, the materials, something as simple as the wood on the floor and a fabric in the sofa or a color of an accent, and making those tie in. So if the painting has a certain color green or a certain blue tone or a certain colorful flower, we want to bring those into the architecture through the fabric or through the pillow accents on the sofa or something, so that the room feels comfortable. The painting's context can be completely irrelevant, but if the colors all work, it relates and it reinforces the value of that artist's contribution. You know, not everything's gonna fly. You know, so we do have some of the pop art kind of stuff that is more challenging because those colors are just hard to fill a room with. So you have to do a lot of breathing with the mats and the frames to center that art and identify it as a separate component. And so that's been done.